Hello friends, I'm Swapna Shetty. In this video, we are going to discuss about JSPs, and initially we'll know the differences between servlet and JSP, life cycle of a JSP and JSP elements. So basically what is a JSP? It is a HTML file with some special tags that contains Java source code which provides dynamic content. So a JSP file is a normal text file but with any name and .jsp extension. So an example of a JSP could be any search engine, the search page which is produced dynamically, which displays the search results based on the user search request. So page is referred as dynamic because depending on the client user input, different pages are displayed to the user. So that is the reason page is referred to as dynamic. This is a sample JSP page where it contains everything in HTML tags, and this is the special tag that is started with less than symbol and percentile and ended with percentile symbol and the greater than symbol. So the code inside this is nothing but a Java code. So which is just adding two numbers and printing the value. So here the Java code is embedded inside HTML tag using these special symbols like special tags. So this is the basic structure of a JSP. So it is a page directive which contains the language attribute, what kind of a language, and the content type, that is text or HTML, and so on. So differences between servlets and JSP. In servlets, we are writing Java code inside HTML using print statements like out.println, and we are writing tags inside that. So inside methods, we are writing Java methods, we are writing HTML tags. Whereas in JSP, Java code is embedded inside HTML. So these JSP pages are converted to servlets because a simple JSP page cannot process the client request. Internally, it is converted into a servlet by the web container, and the servlet is the one which actually creating the client's response. So JSPs are easier for creating HTML content, but servlets are easier for writing Java code. So every technology like servlet and JSP has got their own advantages. So a combination of both can be used to separate the presentation logic and the application logic and take the advantage of both. So this is the JSP life cycle phases. These are the JSP life cycle phases. Like we have got translation phase, compilation, instantiation, initialization, service, and destroy. So in the translation phase, first of all, JSP is converted into a servlet internally, and that servlet is compiled. So it checks for the syntactical errors and all. After compilation, the servlet lifecycle starts. That is instantiation. Web container creates an instance of a servlet, and in the initialization phase, we will have the servlet config and encapsulating the servlet information like missing context information and the initial configuration information and so on. And next we have got service phase, which actually process the client's request, and before the JSP page is destroyed, JVM will call the destroy method and JSP page will be uninstalled. So these are the life cycle phases of a JSP. So internally every JSP page is converted into a servlet, and servlet is the one which actually processes the client request. So this we have discussed. So if JSP is destroyed by the web container when the application is uninstalled. So these are the lifecycle methods like JSP init, JSP service, and the JSP destroy, similar to servlet init, service, and destroy methods. So JSP init is always called once and used to initialize the servlet instance. And JSP service method is processes each user's request and giving back the response objects. And JSP destroy method is again called only once, and it is called when it decides to take the instance out of service. And we have implicit objects in every JSP page. There are basically 9 implicit objects. So what are basically implicit objects are, which are created by the web container automatically, and the container makes them available to every JSP to access it. So these objects are available only inside the JSP service method. So they cannot be accessed anywhere outside. So these are the 9 JSP implicit objects, namely request of type HTTP servlet request, response of type HTTP servlet response, and config is servlet config, session HTTP session, out is the JSP writer, which is used to display some messages on the console, and exception is an object of type throwable, like basically it has got an attribute namely isErrorPage. It is mainly used to tell the user that this is an error page to some other JSP page. And application is again one more object when we want to share some data to all the JSPs in the application. We can use application object, which is of type servlet context, and page is of type object, which where we can this object is mainly used to access all request, response, session, and all the objects in the page. Page context is of type again page context. Coming to the JSP element types, there are 4 types of elements in a JSP, namely directives, actions, scripting, and comments. So scripting elements are used to embed Java code in JSP files. Like just now we have seen an example of adding 2 numbers which were written inside a scriptlet. Scriptlets are basically used to write Java code. So there are three types of scripting elements again: scriptlets, declarations, and expressions. So scriptlet element is used to embed Java code, and the content which are written inside a scriptlet goes into the JSP service method during the translation phase, and it should follow the exact syntax of Java. So it is embedded using these delimiters, less than, percentile, and percentile greater than. So this is an example of it, where we are writing our Java code inside the scriptlet tag. Declaration tags are mainly used to declare, define methods and instance variables. So these doesn't produce any output that would be sent to the client. These just act as an instance variables and instance methods inside a servlet during the translation. So this is how we declare. We give an extra exclamatory mark while we are declaring methods or instance variables. So this is the example where we are declaring a variable count as int and setting the value to 10 and ending the statement with a semicolon. This code is embedded within declaration tag. So this code will be during translation, this code will go into the JSP service method. That is, they act as a servlet instance variables and the instance method. So this particular variable is an instance variable in a generated servlet. Expression element is used to write dynamic content. So whatever data we want to display to the user, that particular data is written in expression elements. It is similar to out.prints method. So only expressions are supported inside the tag. So when we are writing expressions, this expression should not be ended with a semicolon because it is automatically added during the translation phase. So this is how we use expression. Equals to symbol is added along with the scriptlet tag. So when we write like this, equal to new java.util.date, so this will be the date expression will be evaluated and the current system's date will be printed in the HTML. So there are few similarities and differences between expression and the scriptlet. So let's see what are the similarities first. Both are used to embed Java code in a service method and executed as many number of times a request comes from the client. But expression has got only one line of code, whereas scriptlet has got multiple lines. expression prints the returned value. It acts like out.println, but scriptlet, the output is not printed unless it is mentioned. Comments, there are two types of comments supported by JSP, known as HTML comment and the JSP comment. HTML comments will not be appeared in the source page source in the browser, whereas JSP comments are converted into normal Java comments. So they will not appear in the output page source, whereas HTML comments can be viewed in the output page source. So let's see an example of writing a simple JSP page. So I'm just creating a new dynamic project. With name JSP samples using a version 2.5. Clicks. So you can see JSP samples got created. First, I wanted to add two numbers in a JSP page. So I write a simple JSP page. So the file name would be I simply name it as add.jsp. So this is the preview it is showing here. Just click on finish. This is the basic JSP page in which we start writing our scripting elements here. So since I wanted to add two numbers, so first I want to ask the user which two numbers to be added. So I simply create one more HTML page to ask from the user. So basically I name it as index.html. I create a form here. Add.jsp. Number 1 input type equals to text, name equals to t1. Similarly for number 2, input type equals to text, name equals to t2. Then I write one submit button, type equals to submit, and the value equals to add. So this is a form. When clicked on submit button, it goes to JSP page. So in JSP page, I write the scriptlet tag, in which first I'll ask the user to retrieve, that is first number, that is using request implicit object. I just say request dot get parameter of t1. So the request is always retrieves in string, so capture it in a string s1. Similarly, another variable string s2 equals to request dot get parameter of t2. Now since I wanted to add two numbers, first I need to convert this string into integers. So for that, int n1 equals to integer dot parse int of s1. Similarly, int n2 equals to integer dot parse int of s2. So convert both the strings into integers. Now say simply int sum equals to n1 plus n2. So if I wanted to print this, I simply use expression tag, that is percentile equals to the sum is sum. So let's execute and check. So I simply say 12 and 15. Just click on add. So you can view that the sum is 27. So in a JSP page, we have written the entire Java code inside a scripted tag, and for printing we have used an expression tag. So this is how we write a simple JSP page. So that's all with this session. Thank you.